Welcome to Mixing Plants and Crafts. My name is Rachel, and today we're going to be giving some love to my tiny plants in my collection. I'm going to be ranking them. I have 8 on the list. I'm hoping to just show you 8. We'll see. Now, I do love big plants, but there is something special about tiny plants because, I don't know, they're cute. You want them to stay small forever, and if they grow up, you have to deal with the size of them. So there are times where I always say, I kind of want to go back to when this plant was a baby. Also, this is a good chance for me to document my plants for when they are small because I know that they'll size up and I always want to look back to know how they looked when they were smaller. So this month, there are some plants that I haven't stopped staring at and some of them are small. So I'm excited to show you and rank them.
And no, they're not going to be all Hoyas. There's some Hoyas.
Hoyas are my obsession right now. I am excited to rank these plants because I'm going to show you 1 to 8, and 8 is going to be the best one. So let's get started. This first plant might shock you because it is a, oh my gosh, regular normal plant, but look at the bottom of this. You're going to need a repot soon. Oh man, I can't believe it. I just repotted you. Okay, so I am shocked that this plant made it to this little rank. It is, I guess, in my case, small. I I mean, it's flowering for me. And in the flowers, well, actually, it was flowering and now it just has spider babies. So let's talk about this plant. One of the things that I love about this curly spider plant is that it talks to me. This is probably why it's made it to this list. I love when plants tell me when they're thirsty because I'm an underwaterer and it helps me, it alerts me to get this plant watered. If not, I kind of forget about it. So, and then the other cool thing is when this plant is thirsty, the leaves will fade out to a dull, pale type of green. And then the next day after watering, it's usually bright, vibrant green again. So the way this looks right now is going to be needing a watering soon, and I'll be listening for it. You can say that this plant helps my plant care skills, but I will definitely need to repot it soon. Excited to see this get bigger and give me all the babies. Very common plant, but next plant. I'm gonna have to keep my cabinet open because I'm gonna be going in and out of there. Oh, there's 2 plants that I kind of want to add to this list, but I need to keep it small. But maybe I also show you at the end. I don't know. We'll see. They're not. Is it tiny plant? Well, okay. Moving on. Okay, so the next plant is the next plant. Look at this. This is crazy. I just gave you a repot. Oh. Okay. So this plant is the Syngonium Little Star. So cute. Oh, look at that leaf. It is minty. And this one is so nice and variegated. I love it. And this, the first leaf that I had looked like this. And then the second one looked like this. The third, so it just kept getting more ears. I don't know if these are ears, but eventually it's going to look like a star. I purchased this plant in June of this year, and it's a starter plant. And not really a Syngonium kind of girl, but this one captured my special attention. If you know that line, you would know I'm talking about Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Collins. But this has captured my special attention with the variegations on there, and I am excited to see this grow. I did get some Syngoniums when I first started collecting plants. I got a mystery box from Amazon, would you believe? And in that mystery box had 4 Syngoniums. So I kept it for a while and I didn't really like it, so I kind of gave it away. You could say that these leaves have grown on me as a Syngonium. I don't know. We'll see how big it gets. I'm not sure how big it's gonna get. It is called Little Star, so will this get really big? I don't know. Plant number 2. Very nice. Let's put it back. I better not have to deal with this for every plant I give you. The next plant, the next plant. Okay, so this plant, some of you know about this plant. This plant I got this month in August, and there's a story about this plant, and some of you know that story. Let me get it. Okay. Some of you know I replicated this plant on fabric, and without having the plant, I did a replication of it. Here is the other one. I'm gonna put it in the pot to make it look a little better. I really loved how this turned out, and I was very excited to get my hands on the real thing. I feel like this plant is a bit pricey, so I saw this on an Etsy shop for $30, and I knew if it was $30 it would be smaller, and I was okay with that. I'm okay with small plants. I like them. So I snatched it up because $30, I usually see this for $50, $60 on Etsy, and when I saw it for $30, I grabbed it. I did look at the roots, take it out of the pot to look at the roots to see if there was root mealies. Yeah, it is gorgeous. I absolutely love it in person. So now that I have this plant, I am definitely going to update this one a little bit. I feel my fabric cactus would do with a little touch on the top to make it look a little bit more spirally like this. So I'll be working on a new design for this. If you have one, let me know how it grows for you, because I know this is going to grow slow and I'm okay with it. But how has it grown for you? Number 3. Let's get the 4th one. Walk with me. Oh, it's all the way back there. All right, let's see if I can get it.
So the 4th one is
It's a Euphorbia rubra. I am surprised again that I have ranked this plant on my list of favorite tiny plants this month, basically. It's number 4. I got this plant in April, and when I got it, it was there, and it's grown that much. There's no roots at the bottom, but I am so surprised because it's a succulent and it's gorgeous. I'm excited to see how this is going to continue growing. I am loving this type of plant right now because I'm an underwaterer. I don't have to water it too much. I don't have to think about it. I do give it a good drink when it needs, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. I know they have different varieties of this plant, but I really enjoyed the dark ones because I tend to gear towards dark type of plants versus a lot of variegated ones. I love a variegated plant, but some of those dark leaves really, I love it. I love it. The low maintenance, fast growing succulent. It suits my underwatering habits. It's under a grow light, and I'm looking to see how it might change in winter, if it's going to stop growing, if it's going to continue growing, because this room do get a little cold. It can drop down to 50 degrees. Let's see how some of my plants deal with the winter here in this room. So number 4. All right, so the 5th plant. Okay, this one is interesting. this is the next plant. It is my pot arrangement. I did this pot arrangement back in January. I took cuttings that I had and turned it into a pot arrangement. Now I actually just see that there's an Euphorbia elbow, I think, in here. I had no idea that was in there. I forgot. I forgot I put that in there too. It's growing. Everything's growing. So let me tell you what's in here. I have so some of these plants I gave okay, so I have a parlor palm in here and a philodendron birkin. I had those two plants in my collection last year, but I gave it away. And before I gave it away, I took the tiniest of cuttings from this plant to see if I can propagate it, because then it would take time to get bigger. And then I had the time to let it get bigger if it even got big, if it even was going to get bigger. The philodendron birkin is surprisingly is growing. It's not stripy. But I think it will eventually get stripy. Let me see if I can just pull this plant out of the way. That is it right there. It's growing. Crazy. It was a one leaf cutting, or you can't really propagate birkin by cutting, but you can you can separate. So it was a one leaf plant, and when I divided it, and it's growing. I have one, two, oh my gosh. I have 7 new leaves. They're so tiny. Okay. Okay, so this is yellow. I'm probably just take this. Oh, I can't take it off. Oh, I'm not going to bother. So the other plants I have here is the Euphorbia albo. I didn't know I had this one in there again. I forgot. But it's, oh yeah, this is the leaf I started off with. And these are the 2 new ones. That's pretty cool. So recently I did a plant purge on my channel. So when I got these, when I gave these plants away, I took the cuttings to put it away because I couldn't part with my plants. I had issues even last year letting go, but this year I did a plant purge on my channel, and I did throw away some plants, and it felt good to do it, to let go of some of the plants that was giving me a lot of struggles. And I'm going to be getting rid of more plants again, so stay tuned for that. But this time I'm giving them away. I'm not going to be throwing it out. So you'll have to keep an eye out for that. The other plants I have in here is I have a Sandapsis silvery Ann, and that is growing quite well. Oh, I found more elbows right there. Pretty cool. That's growing quite well, and I have a neon pothos. So that's also growing quite well too in this pot. I know I'm gonna have to change. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change this soon. There is one root coming out, so we'll probably have to repot soon, and it's no longer gonna be in a pot arrangement. I'm gonna have to do this again because I really enjoyed watching these grow in here. My husband joked with me when I did this and said I'm putting plants in the same pot from different regions, and it's gonna cause a plant Armageddon. I think it's fine. It didn't do that. They all helped each other and worked it out. So this is whopping number 5. Love it. This is so pretty. The next one. I'm gonna need both hands. Oof. Okay, the next one is a heartleaf fern. I am loving this plant right now. Number 6. And look at these. This just grew out a few days ago. It's doing so well for me. Of course, I have it in a terrarium because let me tell you the story about this plant. This plant was part of that mystery box from Amazon a few years ago, and I have gone through so much with this plant. I've almost killed this a few times. I've learned quickly that it loves moisture. Not only soil moisture, but air moisture, humidity. Because I've had this, I'm gonna show you. I've had this in here without the lid and it dried up. So I have to keep the lid on, and I let it air out sometimes. But the problem is when letting it air out, I tend to forget about it and then it dries up. And then I have to rehydrate it and I lose some leaves. That's why it's in a terrarium with the lid on. If I do take the lid off, I'm trying to set an alarm to alert me to put the lid back on because I don't want this plant to die. I actually really like it. Enjoying it and hoping it will get bigger. I'm not sure if this would get any bigger. It's a petite plant. These plants, I think they tend to stay small. I might try to move it to a self-watering pot to see if that would help it. Then I can keep an eye on it to see if it will crinkle up and kill itself. But I have the soil is always moist, and when I take it out of the terrarium and leave it for a few hours, okay, fine, not a few hours, I probably left it for a day or two, forgetting about it. I come back and it's dried up. If I have pictures of me doing that, I'll see if I can put the pictures on here if I can find it of the plant completely drying up on me. I love the petite heart-shaped leaves, and I love how stringy it is. Little hairs on the plant. I wonder if I were to give this plant a little bit more light, if it would grow bigger. I've had this plant, when I said I tried to kill it, I had this plant in the greenhouse. Ooh, sorry. I've had this plant in the greenhouse under a grow light and it got yellow leaves. So I don't think it likes highlight. Actually, that bottom part of my cabinet right here don't have a light. So I can probably maybe put it there to see if it would work. I don't really want to make trial and error decisions on this plant anymore. I just want it to be happy. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm going to go back in its area. Number 7. Let's get you. The 7th one. It is my new one. I just got it not even 2 weeks. It is the Hoya imbricata, Maxima, whatever. One of those names. I think it's imbricata. I am loving this plant already. It is so unusual. I'm rooting this in stratum to see if that's going to help it. I don't know anything about this plant. I did hear from some Reddit groups that I follow that it is prone to root rot, making sure the heat mat is high enough to dry the stratum. This again is the most unique Hoya I've ever had, and I'm excited to see how this is going to grow. I know that this plant likes to climb, and I'm tempted to put it on some kind of pole. Maybe a cork plank with some moss, or a moss pole, or a wooden plank. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do a moss pole because I feel because of how the leaves are, I think like pests can hide underneath there. Look at that. I mean, you would really have to take a flashlight and take a look to see if there's any pests in there.
Is there any pests in there? I did look.
I love how it looks like a splashy coin when it opens up. And I've seen pictures of it opened on planks and it's just gorgeous. I'm looking forward to see how this plant is going to grow, and I'm Definitely gonna do something unique and different with this plant. I am see if I can get it to grow as natural as I can in the IKEA cabinet. I don't know, we'll see. Do you have this plant and what is your experience with it? I know nothing about it, just what I've read online. Hoya imbricata. Okay, so on a side note, I'm going to show you another Hoya. Okay, this Hoya, I absolutely love it. This didn't make the list, although I wanted it to. I guess it's made the list. It's here. Hoya Candida Sumatra. It is very nice. I like the grungy type of look. I know I watched Good Growing's video where she was decluttering and she said, I quote, she said, she doesn't like the crusty dusty Hoyas. Okay, so I like the grungy, zombie-like looking Hoyas. I love it. It's stunning to me. It's sort of like camouflaging. They're protecting itself. So, yeah, this Hoya, beautiful. Excited to see this one grow. And I love me those grungy kind of leaves. So the next plant is this one. So this one is the Hoya Leucanera Silver. I would say it's super silver because look at those leaves. There's splashy notes and silver notes. There's even there's half moon leaves. Gorgeous. This plant, I had to add this to the list as the
Highest ranking tiny plant right now. It is number 8.
and it's a Hoya. It's growing really fast for me, which is why I kind of added to the list. Because 6 months from now, I think this is going to be big. There is a peduncle on here. Shocked me. There's another one. I think there's another one. I don't want to. Where is the other one? Okay, it's right here. I don't want to break anything because there's another one right there. Purchased this plant in March. It was a starter plant and it was very tiny and it grew so fast. I know that there's Hoyas that are fast growing, but this one is a fast growing Hoya. I can't wait for it to flower soon.
I'm really obsessing over Hoyas these days.
And I think it's because they don't take up that much room so quickly. Considering letting this one just trail down, because I have a lot of my Hoyas on trellises, this one's gonna trail down. I think it's just really pretty that way. I find that when I put a Hoya on a trellis, the leaves get bigger. I feel like when the stems feel supported, I get bigger leaves. But this one, I'm gonna just let it trail. So, yep. I'm excited to see that bloom right there. Highest ranking winner.
Well, that's it for my tiny plants. I could show you more plants, but I'm not going to.
I didn't add begonias to this list because I do have small begonias, but I just didn't want to have to add begonias because that's a whole different. Let me know which tiny plant in your collection is an obsession right now. I love to hear it in the comments. So thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you next week.